1 second. Try it now.
Hello, hello, hello.
Better?
Okay, great. All right, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Thank you for coming. And people are filtering in right now, which is fine, and we're glad to see you. Good Shabbos. It's been quite a week, and now we are happy for Shabbos to come. Shabbos is not just a day of rest. It's not a day on which you lie in a hammock and think beautiful thoughts, although that's part of it. But it's also a day on which we think of other mitzvot that we can perform. Going to shul, having a meal with our family, and getting ready for Rosh Hashanah. Okay? Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. All right, we're beginning our service on page 13. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem v'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Chuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim Kadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos. All right, on page 14. Soulmate Shaz, loving God, compassion's gentle source, take my disposition and shape it to your will. Like a darting deer, will I rush to you before your glorious presence? Humbly will I bow. Let's bring it down a little bit. Let your sweet love delight me with its thrill, because no other dainty will my hunger still. How splendid is your light, illumining the world. My soul is weary, yearning for your love's delight. Please, good God, to heal her, reveal to her your face, the pleasure of your presence, bathed in your grace. She will find strength and healing in your sight. Forever will she serve you, grateful with all her might. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, die, die. Yada, die, 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 die. Yada, die, 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 die. Yada, die, 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 die. Page 17. Adonai malach tagel haaretz yismechu im rabbi. Anan varafel sivivav tzedek umishpat v'chon kiso. Reading responsively. Adonai is sovereign, let the world rejoice. Together, God's throne is founded on justice. Though God be clouded from view, divine justice reveals God's presence. God's lightning illumines the earth. Fire consumes God's foes. Mountains melt like wax before Adonai. The earth trembles. The heavens proclaim God's righteousness. All people behold his majesty. Shame covers those who worship idols, those who take pride in revering images, which must themselves bow low before God. Hearing of your judgments, Adonai, Zion exults and the cities of Judah rejoice. You are supreme over all the earth, highly exalted beyond all that is worshipped. Those who love Adonai hate evil. God protects the faithful and saves them from the wicked. Light is stored for the righteous, joy for the honorable. Rejoice in Adonai, you who are righteous. Acclaim the holiness of God's name. Or zoru ala tzadik, u'liyishrei lev simcha, simchu tzadikim b'Adonai, v'hodu l'zecher kadisho. Page 19. Adonai malach yirgezu amim, Yoshev keruvim tanur haaretz. Use this psalm for some silent prayer. Romimu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtavu le'ar kadisho, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Page 20. Mizmor David, Havul Adonai b'nei Elim, Havul Adonai kavod va'oz, Havul Adonai kivod shemo, Ishtachavu Adonai behadrat kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim, El hakavod hirim, Adonai Almayim Rabim, Kol Adonai HaKoach, Kol Adonai Behadar, Kol Adonai Shover Arazim, Vayishaber Adonai et Arzei Halavanon, Vayar Kidem Kimo Egel, Levanon Vesirion Kimo Ven Reimim, Kol Adonai Chotzev Lavotesh, Kol Adonai Yachil Midbar, Yachil Adonai Midbar Kadesh, Kol Adonai Yechol Elayalot, Vayechesof Yarot, Uvehechalo, Ulo Mer Kavod, Adonai Lamabul Yashav, Vayeshev Adonai Melech Liolam, Adonai Oz Liamu Yitain, Adonai Yivarech et Amo Vashalom. Page 21. Lecha Todi Likrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Nekabila, Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Nekabila. Keep and remember, both uttered as one by our Creator beyond comparison. The Lord is one, his name is one, reflected in glory, in fame, and in praise. Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Nekabila. Come, let us greet Shabbat, Queen sublime, fountain of blessings in every clime, anointed and regal since earliest time. In thought she preceded creation 6 days. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Hinei Shabbat nikabila. Page 22. Oi v'shalom, ateret bala, am b'simcha utzala, toch emune, am segula, boi chala, v'chadodi likrat kala, Hinei Shabbat nikabila, l'chadodi likrat kala, Hinei Shabbat nikabila. Page 23. Mizmor shir liyom Shabbat. Mizmor shir liyom Shabbat. Mizmor shir liyom Shabbat. Mizmor shir liyom Shabbat. It is good to proclaim, to acclaim Adonai, to sing your praise, exalted God, to affirm your love each morning and your faithfulness each night, to the music of the lute and the melody of the harp. Your works, Adonai, make me glad. I sing with joy of your creation. How vast your works, Adonai. Your designs are beyond our grasp. The thoughtless cannot comprehend. The foolish cannot fathom this. The wicked may flourish, springing up like grass, but their doom is forever sealed, for you are supreme forever. Your enemies, Adonai, your enemies shall perish. All the wicked shall crumble. But me you have greatly exalted. I am anointed with fragrant oil. I have seen the downfall of my foes. I have heard the doom of my attackers. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. They shall grow tall like a cedar in Lebanon. Plant in the house of Adonai, they will thrive in the courts of our God. They shall bear fruit even in old age. They shall be ever fresh and fragrant, to proclaim Adonai is just, my rock in whom there is no flaw. Tzadikata yifrach, ki erez balvanon yizke, shetulim beveit Adonai, b'chatzrut Eloheinu yafrichu, od yenduvun b'seva, Shenim v'rananim yeyu lehagi ki ashar Adonai suri v'lo havlatabo. All right, we can put the prayer book aside for a couple of minutes, and I'll be discussing the Torah portion of the week. The Torah portion is a double. It is 2 sections that are strapped together because this is not a leap year. During a leap year, all of these portions are kept separate because they have to make up the count for 4 extra Torah readings of the month. So that's why they do that. But this year, they are strapped together because it is not a leap year. In a leap year, an entire extra month is added, which is 4 extra weeks, and we need Torah portions for those weeks. So Netzavim and Vayelech are separated. Okay, the name of the Torah portion, Netzavim, means standing. It is found in Deuteronomy 29:9. That means that all the Jews were standing so they could receive the Torah. They were standing because, number one, there's no place to sit out in the wilderness. Well, I suppose there is. You could find a rock. And the other reason being that this was a very important piece of Torah, and we listen to important pieces of Torah while we are standing. The name of the Torah portion, Vayelech, means, and Moses went. This is considered to be the last day of his life on earth before God took him away and buried him in a place we do not know, among the mountains of Moab. The Torah portion, the first Torah portion, includes some of the most fundamental principles of the Jewish faith. For example, Achdut Yisrael, that is the unity of Israel. You stand today, this is a quote, all of you before the Lord your God, the heads of your tribes, your elders, your officers, and every Israelite, your young people, your wives, the stranger in your midst. then from the Chotzev Eitzim to the Shoev Mayim. That is the one who cuts the wood to the one who draws the water. Those were considered the lowliest offices among the Israelites, and that's why they're listed last. Now, what's going to happen in years to come? Well, there will be a future redemption, but Moses first warns of the exile and desolation of the land that will result if Israel abandons God's laws. But God will never fully or completely discard Israel. We're going to have some ups and downs with the Almighty, but for the most part, God is going to stand by us and protect us. This doesn't always happen. As we're aware, we're going to be doing our commemoration of October 7, terrible pogrom that took place on that day. We're going to be commemorating. Okay, in the future redemption, all of Israel will return to the Lord their God. If your outcasts be at the ends of the heavens, from there the Lord your God will gather you and bring you into the land which your ancestors possessed. That is a representation of Shivat Zion, the return to Zion. All of Israel will return to Zion in the days of Messiah. But before that, the Jews were returning to Israel as late as the 19th century, when the Zionist movement began under Theodor Herzl. It had begun before other ones, with other leaders, other scholars, but Herzl was the most effective. He had a good idea, a good sense of public relations. Okay. If your outcasts will be at the ends of the heavens, from there the Lord your God will gather you and bring you into the land which your fathers, your ancestors have possessed. Now, he talks about the practicality of Torah. The reason the Torah is portable is because it is a sanctuary that can be carried. We study it, we learn from it, we learn all the laws that Jews need to know, and Torah is eminently practical. It became popular at the very beginning because it was not easy to follow. No worthwhile law is easy to follow, but rather because all of the laws were contained in a scroll which could be carried portably. And the mitzvah which I command you this day, says God, is not beyond you, nor is it remote from you. Lo b'shamayim hu, it is not in heaven, nor is it across the sea. Rather, it is very close to you, in your mouth, in your heart, that you do it. Everyone who is cognizant of being Jewish has some idea of what mitzvot we should do. Some people consider the mitzvot bein adam l'reyehu to be more important. That is the mitzvot between human beings. The other ones consider mitzvot bein adam l'makom. That is the mitzvot, the commandments between God and humanity. And they are equally important, and we very often draw distinctions. We say, no, the laws between human beings are more important, but I promise you, the laws between man and God are equally important. Freedom of choice. God says, I've set before you life and goodness, death and evil, in that I command you this day to love God, to walk in his ways and keep his commandments. Life and death I have set before you, blessing and curse, and you shall choose life. B'char b'chaim. You shall always choose life. Judaism is a religion of faith, but it is also a religion of the living. And sadly, because of the October 7 tragedy, Jews were cut off from not being able to fulfill the will of God. But we believe that they are in a good place and that their souls will return to us at some point. The Parsha Vayelech, and he went, is, as I said before, the events of Moses' last day of earthly life. He says, I'm 120 years old today. He says to the people, I can no longer go forth and come in. He was no longer able to move. He was so tired. He had given his life for the Israelites. He had led us for most of his life. He began when he was 80 years old and kept going until he was 120. But even before that, he tried to represent the Jewish people before the Pharaoh. And that's where the plagues came from. He transfers the leadership to Joshua. He either writes or concludes writing the Torah in a scroll, which he entrusts to the Levites for safekeeping in the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant actually held not only the Torah, but also two sets of the Ten Commandments. The first set, which Moses broke, and the second set, which God wrote for him. And that is why we have two sets. The broken set also represents that if somebody was a scholar when they were younger, but as they got older, they forgot that is the broken set of commandments. The second set represents the new scholars who are coming up and studying Torah. Then they give the mitzvah of Hachel. That is, every 7 years, you should, during the festival of Sukkot, of the first year of the Shemitah cycle, there should be no farming. The land should be allowed to rest and lie fallow. They were allowed to weed. They were allowed to irrigate the land during that year, but no crops could be grown. So they would grow twice as much in the previous year, and that would carry them through until the end of the Shemitah year. And the Shemitah is actually a Sabbath in the entire land. And there are religious kibbutzim where they keep the Shemitah year. And from whom do they buy produce during that year? They buy it from Jordan. They buy it from the Jordanian farmers. So that's really an effective way of keeping the peace. And finally, Vayelech concludes with the prediction that the children of Israel will turn away from their covenant with God, and that will cause Hester Panim. That is, God will cause him to hide his face. But the words of the Torah shall not be forgotten out of the mouths of their descendants. What the grandfather practices, the son forgets, and the grandson remembers. That is the law, that people follow Torah because it is the right thing for Jews to do. Well, that was the Torah portion. That was Nitzavim Vayelech, and we'll read from it tomorrow. We'll read from both portions. On page 28, we have the Baruch Hu. Please rise. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Leolam Voed. Amen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, who rules the universe, your word bringing the evening dusk. You opened with wisdom the gates of dawn, designed the day with wondrous skill, set out the succession of seasons, and arranged the stars in the sky according to your will. Adonai Tzvaot, God of hosts, you create day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness away from light. Praised are you, Adonai, for each evening's dusk. Baruch atah Adonai, Amari Varavim. Amen. Avat Olam Beit Yisrael, Amchavta, Torah u'mitzvot, u'kim mishpatim, otanu limadeta, kihem chayenu, v'orech yameinu, uvahem nege yomam v'layla. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisroel. On page 30 is the Shema. We cover the eyes. Shema Yisroel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod, Malchuto Liolam Voed. And reading in the English. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And these words which I command you this day you shall take to heart. Teach them diligently to your children. Recite them at home and away, night and day. Bind them as a sign upon your hand and as a reminder above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your homes and upon your gates. There's a number of important mitzvot in that paragraph alone. On page 32. Mi chamocha v'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedor ba'kodesh, Torah tilot osef eleh, chutcha rovanecha v'kayam lifnei Moshe, Seili anu v'amru, Adonai imloch v'olam voed. Bar Ifod Adonai et Yaakov Ugialo miad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai Goal Yisroel. Amen. On page 33, we have the prayer for those who are not well. I'm going to read the Yortzeit, not the Yortzeit list, God forbid, the Cholim list, the list of the folks who are not well. Paul Dobbs, Refuah Shalema. Alice Braun Prestia, Refuah Shalema. Harun Imran, Refuah Shalema. Ken Tribble, Refuah Shalema. Sheila Bergman, Refuah Shalema. Nancy Borden, Refuah Shalema. Elisa Pepper, Refuah Shalema. Jeff Stern, Refuah Shalema. Anna DeClaire, Refuah Shalema. Sonia and Herb Yevsky, Refuah Shalema. Vince and Patricia Massey, Refuah Shalema. If there are any other names, keep them in your mind, and we'll read the English paragraph together. Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace, and awaken us again, our sovereign, to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler. Guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praise to you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us, over all his people Israel, over Jerusalem and the entire world. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, baruch atah Adonai, aporei sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim, v'al kol haolam kulo. Amen. Page 34 is the Vishamra. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et Shabbat sod et Shabbat lidot berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et Shabbat sod et Shabbat lidot berit olam. Veini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti liolam, oti liolam, oti liolam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat sod et Shabbat lidot berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et hashamayim v'et haaretz. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat asod et Shabbat lidorot berit olam. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vayinofash, Shabbat vayinofash, Shabbat vayinofash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat lasod et Shabbat lidorot berit olam. The half Kaddish, please rise. Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, Amen. Yalma Divra Chirute, V'yamlich Malchute, V'chaye Chonuvya, Omecha, Uvchaye Dechol Beit Yisroel, Bagala, Bagala, Uvizman Kariv, V'yemeru, Amen. Yeheshmei Rabba Mevorach, Leolam Leol Meol Maya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, Yitpoar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh, Yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei Dekudisha, Richu. Le'elam in kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran bi'alema, v'yemeru, amen. The Amidah, the standing silent prayer, page 35b to 38. When you're done, you may be seated. Sorry about that. Page 47. The heavens and the earth and all they contain were completed. On the seventh day, God finished the work he had been doing and ceased on the seventh day from all the work that he had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and called it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation. Right? Page 48 at the top. Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu, Ritzei v'mnuchoteinu, Kadishenu b'mitzvotecha, V'tein chalkenu Toratecha, Sabenu mituvecha, V'samchenu b'shuatecha, V'tai Libenu liavdecha b'emet v'hanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu b'ahava uvratza Shabbat kodechecha v'yanuchu v'Yisroel v'kadeshei shemecha Baruch atah Adonai v'kadesh hashabbat. Amen. And the full Kaddish. Yitkadav Yikadash Shemei Rabbah. Amen. Yalmad Yivrach Hirutei V'yamlich Malchutei V'chayechon V'yimechon V'chayechol Beit Yisrael Agalav Izman Kariv V'yimeru. Amen. Yehishmei Rabbah Mevorach Li'olam Li'ol Maya Yitbarach Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpoar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shmei Dekudesha B'richu V'yelam Min Kol Berchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Tamiran B'yalma V'yimru. Amen. Tikabal Tzloton V'oton D'cho Yisrael Kedama V'hondi V'shmaya V'yimru. Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya L'chaim Aleinu V'Al Yisrael V'yimru. Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'Al Yisrael V'imru Amen. Yaseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu V'Al Yisrael Yaseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu V'Al Yisrael V'Al Yoshvei Tevet V'imru Amen. Kiddush. Here we go. Savri Mornan Vrabanan Vrabatai Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam Borei pri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam Asher Kiddushanu mitzvotav v'ratzavanu V'Shabbat kodsho b'yava v'ratzon yitchilanu Zikaron l'maseh v'reshit Yehu yom techila l'mikra'e kodesh Zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim Ivanu v'charta Yotanu kidashta Mikol ha'amim V'Shabbat kodecha B'ahava uvratzon Inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim, Shalom, Simchas. Right. The Aleinu, page 51. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol Late gedula liotzer breshit Shelo asanu kigoye haratzot Velo samanu mishpachot hadama Shelo sam chelkenu kahem Degor aleinu kechol hamonam Vanachnu korim Mishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad u'shemo echad. If you're not saying Mourner's Kaddish, you may be seated. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Amen. V'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayei chon v'yimei chon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. V'agalau v'zman kariv v'yimru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach v'yolam u'meil maya. Yitborach v'yishtabach v'yitpo'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudusha b'richu. V'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata ta'amiran b'yalma v'imru Amen. Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru Amen. And now a few words from our beloved president, Ms. Rita Fleming Klein.
Go.
It's a wonderful thing to be beloved by this wonderful community. Hi, Rachie, I see you. There's no sweeter community on earth and no community I'm prouder to be part of. You're really my family, and I sincerely feel that way. I wish you could all see the sanctuary. It is so beautiful. Our flowers came. Our white curtains are up in the ark. The tables are covered with white velvet and gold fringe. It's absolutely beautiful. I know that some of you who are here today, this evening, will be there in person. And it's just really, it gave me the chills when I stepped back to look at what our sanctuary looks like. And for those of you who are at home and not local, to Gail and to Stan, and to Bonnie. Bonnie, I know you're there on the phone. I wish I could see your beautiful face. And my love to Cornell. I hope that Cornell's family in Israel is safe. He's in my thoughts, as are you. Oh, there you are. There you are. I see you. Hi, Cornell. Hi, Cornell. Really, our prayers are with everyone in Israel and your family particularly. So I will only say now we're so busy and with only good things, and it is a joy and a privilege to begin the year 5785 with all of you. Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos. I wanted to just share with you something. This is my Ezra's Torah calendar. And this is the book. It's called the lectionary. The book tells you what you daven on which days. There's an edition in Hebrew and there's an edition in English. I have both, but the Hebrew one is very close to my heart because they give you, if you're sensitive to it, they give you all kinds of little instructions how to improve your practice of the holidays and the minhagim, the customs. For example, on Erev Rosh Hashanah, which this year is Wednesday, Rosh Hashanah is soon upon us. It's amazing, right? Okay. Thank God. Thank God the rabbi knows when Rosh Hashanah is coming. No hagin lahitanot ad chetzi hayom. There are those who fast until half the day is over. So they would get up and fast until 12 noon. It's I think they do that also because that way They eat the meal. It's not a fast. It's Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah, I love Rosh Hashanah. They let you eat. Yom Kippur, not so much. But on Rosh Hashanah, you eat the meal before the holiday with a stronger appetite, and that's very important. We eat well and we fast well when the time comes. Magdimim levet hakneset, we come early to the Torah, to the synagogue. Lomar slichot zachor habrit. That is, these are the prayers of slichot. The very religious will read slichot every single day of Elul, preparatory to Tishrei, which is the first month of the year. And the one for this particular Wednesday is Zohar Habrit. We remind God. You see, God is very old and he forgets things. We have to remind him to remember the covenant that you made with us. A covenant is not a business deal. A covenant is is graved in the heart. Every Jew has a Yiddish heart. I don't care how far away they've been from tradition. I don't care if they're practicing, non-practicing. There are only two kinds of Jews in the world. This is not me. These are our friends at Chabad. They say those who are religious and those who are not yet religious. You hear that? Not yet religious. So this year, I urge you, and I'll be saying more about this on Yom Tov. It's always dangerous to listen to a rabbi before Rosh Hashanah because one of his holiday sermons may creep in. So I'm trying not to do that. What else? We go to do Tachanun in Slichot. Tachanun is a prayer of mourning. Tachanun is the prayer that we say when we are unable to make offerings in the Holy Temple. And so on. Let's moving along. You don't do it in the morning prayers because, of course, it's a Wednesday, and you don't do it on Wednesday. You do it Monday and Thursday. We don't blow shofar erev Rosh Hashanah. We've been blowing shofar every single morning during this particular month so that our ears should become accustomed to the sounds of the shofar. But we don't blow it erev Rosh Hashanah because we are dividing between Tekiyot Reshut, that is Tekiyot, these are soundings of the shofar, the ram's horn, which are permitted. These are the ones permitted during Elul, and the Tekiyot of Chova, the Tekiyot that we have to listen to. According to tradition, there are 100 shofar blasts sounded in the midst of the 2 days of Yom Tov, and we have to listen very carefully because the sound of the shofar is like a person crying because they've sinned. They've made mistakes. The tekiyot are the long ones. That's when you start crying and you have enough breath. Then later on, you start catching your breath because crying is hard work. And you do, that's the shavarim. And finally, and so on. That is the truah, the 9 blasts. So you can see how tradition becomes part of your very bones. Anyway, I want to wish everybody a Shabbat Shalom, a good Shabbos. This year, Yom Kippur falls on Shabbos, so it's going to be a slightly different davening, but we'll still be all there in the sanctuary at the end of the fast, what is called the Great Fast of Sacredness, the Great Fast of White, of Purity. And we will be together and we'll listen to the Tekiah Gedolah, the really long Shavar, the very long Tekiah. So, very good. All right, page 54, we have the Adon Olam. I don't want to do that. Let's do to the tune of the Hatikvah, because we are always thinking Israel is uppermost in our thoughts. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'et Nasa B'chevzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'acharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora V'hu Haya V'hu Oveh V'hu Yiyeh B'tifara V'hu Echad V'yein Sheni Lehamshilo Lehachbira V'li Reshit V'li Tachlit V'lo Haoz V'hamizra V'hu Eli V'chai Goali V'tzor Chavli V'yetzara V'hu Nisi Umanos Li Not Kosi V'omekra, V'ado, Afkid Ruchi, V'etishan, V'ahira, V'imruchi, Giviati, Adonai li v'lo ira. Atikva bat shnot alpayim, liotam chavshi, be'artzenu, Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim, liotam chavshi, Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. Please rise for the closing benediction. Yivarechacha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Yo'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May the Lord turn his face unto you and grant you peace. We'll say Amen. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat,
Shabbat,
Shalom. Shabbat,
Shabbat
Shalom.
shalom.
Shabbat,
Shabbat
Shalom.
shalom.
Shabbat,
Shabbat
Shabbat,
shalom.
Shabbat,
Shabbat
Shabbat,
shalom.
Shabbat, Shabbat, hey, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat,
Shabbat
Shabbat,
Shabbat.
Shabbat,
Shabbat
Shabbat,
Shabbat
Shalom,
shalom.
Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat,
Shabbat
Shalom,
shalom.
Shabbat,
Shabbat
Shabbat,
Shabbat
Shabbat,
Shabbat
Shabbat,
shalom.
Shalom. Good Shabbos. And we
Good
say,
Shabbos,
the
everyone.
old year ends with its disappointments. A new year begins with its blessings. Tachel Shana Uvirchoteha. A new year begins with its blessings. And we all pray for many, many blessings by the hand of the Ribbon Shalom. There should be peace. There should be contentedness. There should be people who are willing to live. Well, never mind. I'm not going to get political on you. Okay. People who are willing to live. That's enough. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, so now we can schmooze.
Amen.
Have a very good schmooze. So we're gonna see
have a
everybody tomorrow. We're
question.
gonna be online. Oh, New Yorkers, you gotta be online.
Yes.
I have a
Not coming
question.
back. Yes.
You don't blow the shofar on the first night. So when is the next time when you do?
We're going to blow it during the morning service in after the Torah reading on the first and second days of Yom Tov.
Okay,
That's when we do it.
thank you.
But we blew it all during Elul, and now we give the shofar a rest. My shofar is tucked in the closet. It's very safe. I haven't been nice to it. I've been putting stuff on top of it, which isn't fair. But the shofar will survive. The shofars are tough. It's not like your little silver cornet. Anyway.
We'll be streaming Sleeco tomorrow if anybody wants to watch it online.
Yes,
Oh,
thank
very
you.
good.
Website.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Sherry, how was New York?
New York was a whirlwind of seeing friends and visiting 3 separate cemeteries. So I feel like I accomplished everything I set out to do. The weather held up. My only worry was I was afraid I wasn't going to get out because of this storm, which thank God we didn't come near us. So I came back with no issues on Wednesday.
Oh, good, good. Well, it's good to see
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. It's nice to
New
be
York,
back.
New York becomes you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rabbi, we have regular services in the morning tomorrow?
Oh, you bet. We're open for
Okay.
business, but no classes. I have to go home and conserve my strength for slichot. We're having a beautiful slichot service planned. It's hot dogs and davening and beautiful music by Peter and Dina and wonderful leadership by our cantors. So I'm very excited about this. This is going to be a slichot to remember, really.
It would be nice.
Oh, it is an introduction to the High Holy Days. You've got a little bit of everything from the High Holy Days embodied in Slichot, so we'll be doing parts of that. That's very good.